Hey students, so we've got a quick tutorial today, and this one's on After Effects. Now, I know as an editor and content creator, you've maybe been a little bit afraid of jumping into After Effects, but trust me, it's not that bad, it's not that complicated, and it's gonna drastically improve your skill set as a creator. I once thought After Effects was extremely daunting, but after just a few weeks playing around, it really became second nature to me, and I know it will with you too. So I want to talk today about something very simple that I use in a lot of projects, and that's masking. Let me show you what I'm talking about. So if you watch this video here, you can see I created an infinite loop through the can. So there's a mask applied in After Effects that is tracked to the top of the can, and it basically makes a hole, a pass-through, so that I can loop again to the beginning of the hyperlapse. Now, this is a very, very simplistic mask. It's actually even a little bit janky, but because it moves so quickly, you don't have to make it perfect. So I'm gonna show you how to do that in After Effects really quickly. Here we go. So you're gonna open up After Effects, and you're gonna see your project on the side here. So we have Master Comp 1, that's the hyperlapse that I made. To make a composition, all you have to do is drag it to this button down here. And boom, you've got a composition. So this is your timeline, just like in Premiere. And then you have your effects on the side here. You have a whole bunch of different tools, but I wanna show you very quickly how to make a mask. So I want to make the mask when the top of the can first appears. So there's a couple things you have to do. First of all, I want the mask to pass through the whole of the can so that it sees the layer below it. So I'm going to be duplicating this one clip by pressing Command or Control D. And I'm just going to take when the mask starts revealing itself at the top there. So I'm going to press Shift Command D or Shift Control D. That's going to cut my clip in half. I'm going to delete the first part of it. And then I can start making my mask so that it will pass through below. And what I want to show below is the end of this clip. So I'm going to do the same thing, Shift Command D, and I'm going to bring this underneath the can so that when I cut the mask in it, it's going to show the beginning of the hyperlapse. Now, very simply, all you have to do to start making a mask is you're gonna press G. So G gives you the pen tool, and you can zoom in where you wanna start making the mask. And with the pen tool selected, you can also select it up here. It's the little fountain pen. You're just gonna start clicking. And if you click and hold, you can make a curved mask like this. So click and hold. Try to make it fit the shape. Try to get as many points as you can, but it doesn't have to be too many. So there you go. Now you can see through the mask we just made. Now to animate the mask, actually first thing you want to do is feather a little bit. So we're going to be pressing F to bring up the feather controls of the mask, and we're going to turn this up a little bit. And what that is doing, let me make this more high res. What that is doing is blurring the edges of this mask so that it's not so hard. So you can see right there, the mask is very hard, it looks very jagged, but if we turn feathering up a little bit, it smooths it out. It makes it look like it's more part of the scene. Now what we have to do is animate it. So with our layer selected, we're gonna be pressing M. That brings up the mask keyframes. So you're gonna be setting a keyframe at the beginning of the mask by pressing this little stopwatch button here. And then you're gonna be moving ahead either a frame or a couple frames. So you can press page down to move ahead frames, or literally just use the mouse or the arrow keys. So you can see here that the can has moved, but the mask has not. So we have to take the mask, we can double click it and move it down here. Then by pressing Shift on a point, we can now select the points and make them fit into the lid of the can again. Doesn't have to be perfect, like I said, because this mask moves very quickly. There we go. So now you can see between the two keyframes we just made, if we go back, oh, so yeah, we do have to do it every frame here. And once you have the stopwatch selected, every time you move the mask, it's going to create a keyframe automatically. So you can see here, first keyframe, second keyframe, third keyframe, fourth keyframe stays the same, fifth, we got to move it again. So we double click it, move it down here, then we press shift on one of the points so we can take them individually. We're going to move them back up to fit in to the can hole. And we're basically going to keep doing this frame by frame. I know it's a bit tedious, but honestly, it's not that many frames. I think this is about maybe 30 frames or so. So we're just going to keep clicking ahead. You can hit page down to keep moving the frames ahead, and just keep dragging your mask. Keep sizing it up. Yeah, and then by the time you're done, it's going to look something like this. And that's literally just me going through frame by frame and manually fitting the mask to the hole so that it can see through that mask and play the clip below, which is the beginning of the hyperlapse again, to start an infinite loop. So very simple. Masks are very powerful. To recap, you want to make sure you're putting the mask on the top layer so that whatever you're masking, it will pass through to the layer below it. You want to make sure you turn on feathering at least from 25, maybe up to 100 points so that it blends in a little bit more. And you want to make sure to press M, hit the stopwatch. That way all your frame movements are recorded. You can see all the little keyframes I have here each time I move the mask manually. And if you want to go back in and fix any of the masking, just make sure that your keyframe is selected. Then you can alter it, and that will be recorded in the keyframe. So that's masks in a nutshell. Very, very powerful. I use them on a lot of tools. It allows you to do background replacements, to do pass-throughs, to do almost infinite things. So I really urge you to play around with After Effects, try masking some content, and upgrade your skill set, because After Effects is a very important tool to use, especially for editors and content creators across the board. If you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments below. And I'm going to be doing a lot more of these quick After Effects tips. So keep following along, and through 5 or 6 more lessons, you're going to know After Effects pretty intimately. I'm going to do a lesson very shortly that'll go through the composition, the effects, how to make a new project, how to work with different bit depths, and more advanced keyframing. So stay tuned for that, and be good, stay creative. Bye guys.